sitting in the driver's seat, and I have the driver's seat all the way back and all the way down, and I'm 6 feet tall, to give you an idea of the potential legroom here. It's a little bit, my foot right there, you can see it's a little bit resting on this piece right here. So that center area kind of extends out. It's not a big deal, but it does have a nice footrest, unlike the Wranglers, so it's definitely pretty comfortable. So yeah, this area right here is really nice. It kind of gets out of the way of my knee. This is a hard touch surface, so it's a good thing it's out of the way. Same thing here on the left side, lots of room. So 6 feet tall, not really a problem. If you're over 6 feet tall, probably 6'1", 6'2", and maybe even more, it's probably fine. All right, so this is the steering wheel. Very nice looking, high-end feeling, leather-wrapped steering wheel. It has the Grenadier name here, stitched there on the inside. Really impressive. Feels good, looks good, has a center line, the 12 o'clock position, and it has like a little red indicator there as well. Perforations there on the inside. It feels really good. The thickness is nice, and having that, I don't know, just the styling is excellent. And the thickness there at the bottom has an open center, so you could, you know, use that. You can use that as grips here. It's got grips up there. Really nice. The cruise controls here on the left side. It has the voice recognition. Turn on the cruise control, set, resume, and cancel, and then the phone button there as well. So pretty basic. Here on the right side, volume for the radio, change through the tracks, and you can make selections here as well from the screen. So like if I scroll through, change through different radio stations, and then I can hit the OK button to select the one that I want. Now it has this little toot button, which is different from the horn. There's a horn, and then it has a toot. So it's a little bit lower, it's a little bit less obnoxious, little toot button. And you notice it has a little picture of a bicycle, you know? So if you're honking at somebody in a bicycle, the loud horn isn't necessary because they can hear you easier than somebody in the car. So having the horn, the loud horn, and the little toot button is excellent. I love that feature. Now it has the windshield wiper controls here on the right side, pretty standard, intermittent, stuff like that. And then you have your headlight switch with a turn signal. It does have automatic headlights, parking lights, and then you can turn them off as well. And right in here you'll notice there's no gauge cluster. It just has some little lights, letting you know the headlights are turned on, and so it's just a little status lights right here. There's no like there's no screen there to give you any additional information. Everything's located over here. So the speedometer and all that stuff is here. And what I noticed about the screen is this side is not a touch screen. So basically just has that fixed location. So that takes the place of this over here, would be normally your gauge cluster. So your gauge cluster is here, and it's fine. So you can see your speedometer just fine. It's large enough to see it and all that stuff. It shows the RPMs, status of the cruise control and lane keep assist system, and it has, which I don't have a lot of experience with the lane keep assist system, but from what I understand, it needs some updates, which I think they are coming, because it depends on if you're driving off-road and stuff like that, then it's not a big deal, but you want to make sure you just turn it off. It shows you what gear you're in, your odometer, your range, and then it has like these warning lights right here. Like right now it's just showing me that my seat belt is not on, and the fuel temperature, so it kind of cycles through different information right there. Here on the right side, I kind of like this, the way they designed it, because it has these fixed buttons, so it's really easy to get to different things. But you'll notice that there's a bezel on the screen, real thick bezel here, but they just recessed the screen a little bit low, so the bottom buttons are a little bit kind of low. So you know, keep that in mind. And also, like, if you, this could have been a nice little ledge to set something, but since you're setting it right against the screen, you know, it's not really usable for that. But having the home button, off-road button, takes a second. Altitude, temperature, let's go ahead and go to temperature. It shows your pressure and temperature of the wheels, of the tire. Pretty interesting. The gearbox temperature, transfer case temperature. That is impressive. All right, let's go back here. See altimeter here. G-force has the tilt, pitch and roll angle, steering angle. So as I turn the steering wheel, you can see the little steering wheel angle right there as well. So a lot of very useful information. Pathfinder. So this would be, you can record a path. Let's go to the road book here. This uses the GPS, and it's showing us to connect it to 28 satellites to record your path using your coordinates, basically, and how long you've driven and stuff like that. And you can of course reset it. Go to statistics here. It shows, we haven't really done anything, so there's nothing to show, but it keeps track of everything. Electrical. So this will show your status of the electrical system. You know, so right now, if you connect a voltmeter to the battery, that's what it'll show, 14.2 volts. State of charge for that battery and battery temperature, which is excellent. And then whether it's charging or discharging, basically. So you can keep an eye on that. You know, like if you're out somewhere and then all of a sudden your voltage keeps dropping and dropping and dropping, you might want to head back before you turn it off again. That kind of thing. You can keep an eye on it. All right, phone. This is where you pair your phones. Audio. This is the different audio sources here. You can browse different devices. You can connect your phone. You can have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto as well. And you go into your settings. There's the different settings you can go through. Let's go to acoustic settings. So that's so you can adjust your radio, sound system, and all that stuff. And then there's the home button. It has a small digital clock. I wish it was a little bit bigger, maybe, you know, in a more fixed location that's kind of bigger, that you won't get confused with other gauges. It shows the outside temperature, your altitude, status of your phone, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. I think that I could definitely get used to it. There's a few things just being nitpicky, I would say I would change, you know, like the clock and certain things that maybe speed up the system so it's not quite as laggy, that kind of thing. But from what I understand, there is a lot of software updates left to go on this vehicle, so they're working on stuff all the time. It's a new product, and so the software updates are definitely a thing that's relatively easy to do. Now, I like this emblem right here, the Grenadier emblem. Looking pretty cool. And check it out. There is some cool stuff. We're going to get to this, and also we're going to get to this here in a second. It's pretty neat. So yeah, the heated seats. It's a 3-stage heated seat for the driver and passenger. There's your climate controls, fan speed, temperature, where you want the air to blow. You have the front and rear defrosters. Climate control, you can turn on the air conditioning. You can recirculate the air. This is where you have the hazard lights. I like these little bars right there, so you don't accidentally press it. But on this particular button, it seems like it's just mostly for looks, but it looks pretty cool. Stop start feature, you can turn that off here. That's the off light. The volume for the radio is here, and then the park assist, you can turn it off. So this has pretty loud parking sensors, so if you need to turn it off, you're getting close to something, you can do that if you need to. But default is on, so that's the off button once again. This parking brake, hand brake, is pretty interesting because it's spring loaded, so it's a lot of distance of travel. So as you pull it up, you can go all the way up, so it tensions a big spring. So it's not like just a cable that you tighten. It actually tightens the cable, and then you have a spring that you can put varying degrees of pressure on. Alright, so since we have a BMW engine, and transmission basically, we have a BMW shifter here. And let's go ahead and put it in reverse. So you can see the status of the backup camera. It's kind of small. You can see where the location of the camera is kind of a little bit of an issue. You can see the bumper, you can see the spare tire, and it's kind of wedged underneath everything. You can still see, it does have active guidelines as well, so as I turn the steering wheel, you can see the status of which direction the vehicle is going to go. But overall, I think they could have implemented the backup camera a little bit better. And we'll get to more visibility in a second. All right, so that is reverse. We'll pull it down gently, go into neutral, pull it down gently, go into drive. Or if we are in park, like so, which is the park button here, just press this button here on the side, pull down all the way, and you go into drive. You can go over here to manual shift through the gears right here. So now you can bump it like a ratchet shifter and manually switch through the gears. And you'll know what gear you're in because it'll show right here. So as I pull through, I can have some control over the shifting. You can always go back into drive, and then there's park right here. Nice little rubberized compartment here. Now this is it has an automatic transmission, 8-speed ZF automatic transmission. This is a manual transfer case. It has high and low. So it has high and low without the lock. You move it over here, high and low, to lock the differential. There's also front and rear differentials. We'll show you how you can engage those as well. So this one has the rough package, so it has some upgrades. So the way the screen is, you can use it as a touch screen, or you can use this little dial. So you can kind of scroll through here, bump up and down to different categories, that kind of thing. So using this, I can bump it up and down, turn it, make selections, hit the options, menu, back button, off-road, favorites, and audio. So you have all these different shortcuts in addition to just using the screen, because it is kind of far out there. So it's easy to use this, and I think that would be, for most people, would use this most of the time. There's some cup holders here. It has these little rubber bumps to kind of hold the cups or whatever. And it's kind of rubbery on the side where the bumps are, but it's smooth, once again, smooth on the plastic at the bottom. All right, here's the armrest. Not very soft. It feels like a tire or something, kind of rubbery soft, but not soft. But it's all right. It's not like a brick or anything. It does give a little bit. It lifts up. It has a little latch here. It lifts up, and it's fairly solid. It doesn't feel like it's going to rattle or anything. It does release it, and it springs up so it doesn't flop back down on you. It has these little rubber bumpers there. That's probably why it feels so solid. And then here's a storage compartment. It has a USB 12-volt power supply as well. So there's regular USB and USB-Cs there. And this has a rubber mat inside. Not super grippy, but it does have one. There's little clips right here. You can put your registration or whatever, driver's license. It is a lockable compartment. There's the keys, and you can see the little manual lock right here. Now the rearview mirror is just a regular, standard, manual rearview mirror. It also has this whole section up here is really interesting. We have lights, and you can use these buttons, just to mention, with gloves on. Like, these buttons are spaced out, they're easy to press, they're very, very tactile. You know, you can feel that you pressed them. You turn on all the interior lights, have them turn on with the door or not, and then you can have this is the passenger light right here. You do have the auxiliary external lights that you can turn on here, and you can adjust the level of those. So those front off-road lights I showed you, you can turn them on when you're off-roading only, and then you can adjust the level. So basically up and down, to aim it where you want. So up would be a further distance, down would be a shorter distance, basically. And also it depends, how much cargo you have, that kind of thing. You can aim them. Being able to aim them that's pretty awesome. You do have the traction control off button. So default is on, but you can turn it off here. So that's the off button again. Downhill descent. So this would be like off-road cruise control, very, very slow crawl downhill, keeping you from slipping, that kind of thing. And then you have the different off-road modes here, just turning off-road on in general, and then you have the waiting button right here. Now I'm not sure exactly what the waiting is for. Maybe it pressurizes something. I'm not really sure what that does. Now I like the way you have some measurements here as far as the vehicle. Pretty cool. You can have the front and rear locking differential. So this is really handy, and this is part of the rough pack, and this makes this vehicle different from a lot of other off-road vehicles, having that front locking differential. So you got front and rear, awesome. And you notice there's some blank spaces here and here, which you can add some stuff. These panels can come out and you can add stuff here. And then you have auxiliary switches. You have the full on power, 10 amps, 10 amps, 10 amps. So you have exterior and 2 interiors here, and that's the full, you can turn on the power when the vehicle's off. But you know, of course, it's gonna use the battery. The headliner is just a beige cloth headliner, but the visors are a plastic. So if your hands are dirty or whatever, touching the visors, it's gonna be very easy to clean. So having that vinyl is really nice. There's a little warning right there. Now, this does not extend out or anything, but it goes here to the side, which doesn't really give you much coverage, but it does give you lots of coverage here. Basically the same thing on the other side. So looking at the visibility in the back, you can see those headrests really do make a big difference. So if you don't need any passengers back there, you can definitely fold those down and add a lot of open area for you to look out. So you can see those windows are actually pretty good as far as visibility back here. The pillars are relatively narrow, not really a huge deal, but you know, we have just so many windows and they're large. It's a tall vehicle, so it does have the parking sensors and the camera system as well to help you out. Just want to comment on the steering. This has a very short turning radius, so as you turn lock to lock, it doesn't give you really sharp turning. Also, when you're driving the steering, it is like, it doesn't return to center. You know, you have to constantly, it's a little bit different. Like if you just like trade a regular SUV on this vehicle, you're gonna have to get a little bit used to driving it, because I mean, it's fine driving on off-road, on-road, it's fine. It's just a little bit different. That's all I'm saying. It's not a bad thing. It's a very solid structured vehicle, and it's designed to be very durable, and so it's just a little bit different on the power steering design. So just keep that in mind. You know, just when you first drive one, take one for a test drive or whatever, just don't go trying to whip around and drive like you normally do. Just get a little bit used to it first before you you know, get a little bit cocky while you're driving. Anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you to Vann Underwood, Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram here in Whiteville, North Carolina, for providing the vehicle. And if you're interested in this vehicle, I have a link in the description where you can purchase it. You can also, there will be another link to my website where I have tons of information, detailed specifications, and just additional information that I'm going to kind of put together for you, so you can learn about different specifications, like different options that you can add to the vehicle, and different links that you can, you know, find out more information. So that link is going to provide you with a lot of extra information, because the website isn't all that great for the Grenadier vehicle right now. So I'm going all over the place trying to kind of aggregate some information for you. So hopefully it'll help you out with your research and everything. So anyways, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.